When I was on Fresh Prince, I didn't take vacations.
Wow. Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
what would you do to bring you joy and to rest?
I would win awards.
That's a wrap.
I'm Will Smith, and I'm here with the cast of Bel Air celebrating the launch of season 3. Season 3 is kicking off, and it takes place in the summer. On Fresh Prince, we actually never really did a summer season of Fresh Prince. So Will would always be coming back from the summer, and we had one piece of one episode where he was in Philly and then came back. What are the differences for you personally and the character making a summer season?
It's a lot less clothes.
A lot less clothes, yes. Yeah, no, nakedness is important to the show.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot less clothes. You guys are gonna be very excited for what I got planned. And the aspect of us not being in school. You know, not being tied down to school this season gave us the room to like explore the world of, you know, Bel Air and Los Angeles as well. So with that, there's so much trouble to get into.
So Hillary, with her character, there was a lot played on the messiness of relationships. How do you relate to that in, you know, character and life? What do you...
LOL. You know what I will say I find very, very funny, and I don't know if this is me telling my whole business, but I'm like, these scripts, I'm like, who's watching? Literally, I'm like, stop! But no, I think it's so funny to have the same similar plight of like what the world is gonna see and what they're gonna say and what they're gonna comment on versus what do I really want? What's important to me and what do I wanna show?
Since your engagement news broke, I hope you're leveraging this moment. #Limilary is officially a thing. And I was thinking for your wedding prep, we should totally post a bridal party, get ready with me. It'll break the internet.
Yeah, maybe.
What's going on, Hill?
As a person, it's like, how much do I have to show the world and give the world? So I think I relate to her struggle with balancing her separate identity versus her public perception.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Ali, what are you relating to in this season 3 of Carlton? And how's it evolving in your mind?
I will say Carlton and I don't like wearing our shirts a lot. Wait, what?
Yeah, no. I don't think you should.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'll be working hard. But on a real tip, you know, I think something Carlton deals with is, how people view him, right? How does he have to reconcile between everything, all his past decisions and what that means for his future? And I think that all of us sitting at this table can relate to like, these moments right here are so special. And everything we've done up until now leads to this, but also it shapes tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. So like, I don't know, I'm just like, Carlton, sit down. It's gonna be all right.
All right, yeah.
Chill out, bro.
No, it's always interesting for me watching you with the Carlton character, because we had so many reigns. You know, there were things that we wanted to do that, you know, you guys get to do that we were never. Monday night at 8, we couldn't come anywhere near the level of these storylines. Adrian, where's Uncle Phil at this season?
Phil and Viv are trying to reconnect and get that sizzle back in their marriage. You know, we left the cliffhanger last season with Erica. And, you know, Phil took her proposal to go for coffee, and that made everybody like, what are you doing, you know? But you know, Phil knows that Erica has an agenda, and but he knows that he can control, you know, what happens with her and how he knows her well. But what happens is that there's a lot of tension, a lot of stress that causes between him and Viv, and also communication issues. They have to rebuild that trust, and. But they decide to, you know, they know what's important, which is the family and the love. They're fighters. They fight for love and the love between each other, and most importantly, the family. And so this season they get outside, they go on dates, and they're doing a lot of. We travel, you know, a little bit, you know. Get out there, and it's nice.
It's crazy because y'all travel, but y'all ain't bring the kids with you.
I know.
That's the thing. We needed our time. We needed us.
I want you to know, a real-life rift was created in this cast because Cassie and Adrian got to go off to different locations.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You like, we at the country club?
I want to go to the club.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it's just great to be a part of this show because it's just such a high vibrational show, and it touches on so many important issues that the culture and the community can relate to, and not just for the Black experience, but for the human experience. You know, we can all watch this show and go, oh, I can relate to that. I get, you know. But yeah, this season's going to be sizzling. It's gonna be
Now the trailer's ridiculous.
How it forever feel. This is just how it ends.
Where's Jeffrey at?
Jeffrey, you know what? Jeffrey's in a real tough spot. You know, I think what he's learned over the last few seasons is that, you know, he can handle business, he gets stuff done, but he's not perfect. Yeah. He's flawed. And he's going on that journey and going, okay, I've made some mistakes and I'm on that journey now. How can I don't know, make up for those mistakes? And so his past is right on his neck right now. And so we're gonna see how he deals with that because he can't deal with it. Like we were talking about earlier, some of the old ways we would normally do with things, you have to let them go. So what's the new version of dealing with life's problems? And so, but we also see Jeffrey open up his heart, you know, his son is sort of in his life again. Is he gonna mess it up or is he gonna be able to rekindle that connection? So I'm loving it. I'm loving to be able to expand Jeffrey in a way that you guys couldn't really do in the original.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
At the same time, there was always these nuggets there, you know, that, you know, you could see the OG Jeffrey, but you knew there was something else about him, you know? And so to have him pop up in this season in some way
that's
is an honor. And
Are we allowed to talk? We're allowed to talk about that, right? We can talk about that.
Wagwan, Jeffrey.
Wagwan, Roman.
It's been a long time.
Where's Jazz at this season?
Man, I mean, I feel like, you know, season 1, I was kind of more like a guru. I was like helping everybody out. You couldn't really see too much of Jazz except like he was just cool. Season 2 was like where, you know, Jazz really showed his insecurities with his relationships and kind of got to dive in deep to like, okay, maybe he is not that cool. Like, you know, he's still a human being. And I really enjoyed season 3 because you get a chance to see obviously the ups and downs of relationships. But I think mainly just more of like, you know, what Jazz believes in, like what he wants to do, what he stands for. So, you know, without giving too much.
I know,
Move on, because I definitely have.
I met Tatiana when she was a little younger than you. And it can be really difficult on a set with your education and all of that. How are you managing work and school at the same time?
Sometimes looking the part is more important than what's really going on.
It was a lot. It was, I feel like I was feeling left out because they were all on set. I was like, oh, I want to be on set. Like, you gotta go back to school. I'm like, okay. But I definitely did it. I graduated this year. So I got through that. Yeah, I'm just excited for everyone to see the season and the hard work that we put through it, especially with having to get through my last year of high school.
She started driving.
Terrifying.
Started driving. I got my license. No, yesterday I drove for like the second time in LA. It was horrible. It was nerve-wracking.
Everyone else thought so too, don't worry.
Yeah, but excited.
What do you relate to about Ashley?
Well, I feel like Ashley this season is like the true definition of coming of age. Navigating through her sexuality and figuring out her, like, what relationships she wants to have, and like also the dynamic of her family. Like, I feel like she has a lot of trust issues this season, so she's trying to figure out her family and what's really going on. I feel like that's me. I don't know. I feel like I'm always trying to figure out what's going on in the drama in the family. I'm like, nobody's telling me. I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, I feel like I definitely relate to that.
That's beautiful. I love the female relationships on this show, how the female characters interact in a way that could be really considered progressive. How do you feel about how those relationships function on the show?
With Lisa, I feel like everyone's going through it this season, and I feel like the boy is mine.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah. And even with the relationship being solid, she's like looking at everything else. She's like, okay, what about my swimming career? And that was really cool to pull off this season and just make sure, although, you know, we have a character who is like the girlfriend. She has her own life and her own drive and her own relationships with the other characters. And yeah, but with Akira and Coco, I feel like they all have their own drive. And I feel like that's really cool to watch. They're not just adjacent to the story. And although they're gorgeous and Cassie is stunning as well, that's not their main purpose in the show.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we all got to do scenes together.
Finally.
What scene you can't wait for people to see?
I think the beach scene is very fun.
Is beautiful.
Because it's just filmed so gorgeously, but also the pool scene.
The pool scene is crazy.
We in the pool a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the pool scene, the hot tub.
The hot tub, the hot tub scene. Yeah.
Honestly, not that I can't wait for them to see it, but when I read it, I was like,
that's the
real guys, this is what we doing.
It's summer. Sizzling summer.
So that happens sometimes where you read something and you're excited about it, and then there's things you're like, oh no, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
I'm like, y'all don't want to rewrite that? Think about it again.
What was there a scene you read that you were scared of?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there's a scene with this might be a spoiler as well, but there's a scene with Marlon. It was like 3 pages long.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, okay. Let me lock in.
He said, oh, man, I had to study my lines this week. I'm used to going on set and not really knowing what my lines are.
Yo, Jabari, you coming out. You come out. You know, yo, Jim, I come out tonight.
No, but it was trailer. No, but it was great because, you know, April Parker Jones, who plays my mother, you know, it was our first time where we were in the scene, all 3 of us together, and that dynamic it was electric, you know, and there was so many, there were so many highs and lows to play within that, and so I was super excited, but also like the excitement and the nervousness live in the same part of my body, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm excited for this scene, but that was definitely one of them.
And I know you've talked about this, like when you read a scene and you're like, I'm so excited for that, but now for the next 3 weeks, you're sick.
You're sick,
you know what I'm saying? Because everyone in the crew knows this is that
one. When you read something and your mouth waters and you're excited, it's really hard to live up to that. Right?
It's the thing about expectations, too.
Expectations,
you always come into a scene like, this is how it's going to be. You know?
And the director's like, we got it. And you're like, are you sure?
There's no way we have it. I mean, my stomach wouldn't feel like this if we had it.
Let's go around talk. Did you What happened for us? We watched episode 1 together. What I remembered is that there was so much mutual love between everyone. Like everybody was eating the scene. You know, Coco. I remember you were leading it. Like, you know, every time we watched the scene, it was like, oh, Gus, you nailed that. And it was like, it was so good to watch each other's work and be like, damn, like everybody's bringing it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you know, that comes from the writing, and so we got to give you know, Carla, you know, and the twins and everybody in the writers room their props because the show is elevated.
I sat and watched it with Carla because I missed it with the crew, with the cast, and my jaw was just on the floor the whole time. I was just perma-grin. I was so proud, and I was just it was so elevated and cinematic. This season felt very cinematic, and it was beautiful.
You guys have been opening up to music also, so you know, the music and building, you know, the musical careers outside of the show and then touching back in. How is it balancing those things?
Grammy Award winner.
All of season one was like, hey Coco, we're going out after. We're gonna get It's got to be in the studio. A year later, she won a Grammy.
No, that is hilarious. I feel like with everything good, there's a price, you know, and I feel like my past and my upbringing and my introduction to the world was being on Disney Channel, and I never knew how much it was preparing me for what I'm doing now. Like being in school, doing music, learning the script, learning the choreography for the movie, because there's music and there's dancing in the movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's hard. It's hard, and I want to be in the moment a lot. And I find myself like, oh my God, we have 2 more hours. And then I told them that I would be here for this, and then I said yes to that because I want to do that too. And so I'm like, I'm like trying to constantly telling myself like, but you're here right now. You're here right now, you know? And then the lack of sleep. I mean, because there's only so many hours, and everything takes time. A show takes time. A day of set, there's no, like, you can't speed that up. You know what I'm saying? The scenes take time. The studio takes time. The video shoot takes time. It's like, how many hours? How many hours, you know? And what's left for you? But like you said, when it's hot, you gotta go. When it is your time, you gotta just push through it, and then there will be those waves where I'm like, I've earned my ghosting. Don't call me, you know?
I'll be in Ibiza.
That's fact. What do you guys have to say? What about you guys? Because I mean, a lot of people up in here are artists, solo artists. Vari, Ollie, everybody got their shit going on. So what would you guys say?
I mean, yeah, so definitely the balance of it. You know, on my level of doing music as well with the acting, it's like it's interesting trying to, you know, I mean, what do I feed in this moment? What do I water? You know, and I always look at, you know, my art as like my baby. You know what I mean? And so like, you know, acting is my newest, because I've been doing music for a long time, writing raps or whatever in the bedroom, you know. And so acting, I kind of, you know, look at it as my youngest child, and so I'm giving it a lot of attention right now. And so as I'm going back to the oldest child right now, you know, it's like, how do I connect back to that child again? You know what I mean? And so that's kind of been my journey throughout it all, throughout this right now. And so hopefully, you know, that child grows up to be the president of the United States. Hurry up. Do you find yourself putting time limits or time constraints on when you have to be this thing, you know, in your life?
Fortunately, with movies, it's, you know, a specific period. If you're really focused and you're doing it right, 4 months. There's any movie you can shoot in 4 months. You know, so then there's a natural stop. With movies, you get a good break. With TV, it's a little bit harder because you start stretching into 6 months, 7 months, and now you only got 5 months left to do the other thing you want to do.
Right.
You know?
And the studio time takes 3
The studio takes 3, You know, so yeah, but you know, at this age, it's a lot easier.
Coming from the original and what you went through, and to watch our show and see how it started to, like, how does it feel?
It makes me teary sometimes, you know. It's such a unique concept. Classism within the African American community. Like, you never really seen that before. Like how black people kind of interact across the social scale. And it's such a unique concept that opens you up to so many different topics that you're able to talk about. What I love watching your show is you get to say things that we couldn't say, right? So it's like to see it expand, and it's still rich, it's still ripe, and you know.
That's amazing.
It's so powerful.
And like, you changed, for real, you changed our lives. Our lives got turned upside down.
Real.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, check us out. Season 3, Bel Air.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. Season 3. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.